All right, Shalom, Yasharala, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachakodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. All right, this is Exhorting Scriptures, number 5. We're going to be in Psalms 149, and we may as well just read the whole chapter since it's short, but we'll make it quick, all right? So we're going to start at verse 1. It says, Praise ye the Lord, Yahweh, sing unto the Lord a new song, and his praise in the congregation of saints. And the saints are the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the 12 tribes of Israel. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. That's right. And we're gonna receive salvation, right? We have our hope and trust in the Lord 100%. All right, wholeheartedly. We have our trust in the Lord, and we're going to be praising him and rejoicing and so on and so forth, because he issued salvation to the Israelites, all right, through all the things that are going to happen in this earth. It says, let them praise his name in the dance, and let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. For Yahweh taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. All right, it says, let the saints be joyful in glory. And we just mentioned who the saints are, the Israelites, all right? Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds, all right? Because we're going to be able to wake up every single day and not have these normal, everyday worries and downtrodden cares of life, as we know it right now. Waking up, having to go to work, tired, sleepy sometimes, and so on and so forth. We're not going to have to worry about these things, soon come, all right, because the heathens will be put into subjection, all right. The heathen will be under our foot. The heathen will be subject to us. Basically, they're going to be slaves and tributaries in the kingdom of heaven. And Edom is going to be that first one, to get those chains around their neck, all right, and serve 1,000 years of hard bondage. And then afterwards, the Lord's going to do away with all the Edomites, all right. Once they've served their final purpose, He's going to do away with them. It says, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen. You see that? To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. What people is it talking about? Our enemies, especially the chief one being Edom. All right? To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. You see? Because those that had us in captivity, those that did that to us, put us in chains, it's going to happen to them. Those that used us for slaves and tributaries and, basically servants, all right? We're gonna do the same thing to them, all right? We're subject to payments, all right, and taxes and all these other things, and just everyday life is hard enough, but then they make everyday life even harder for us, all right? And they're gonna get all those things back double, and talks about that in Revelation the 18th chapter. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. To execute upon them the judgment written, all right, because it's in these scriptures. All right, these scriptures are the word of the Lord. All right, and so you can bet that everything written in the Holy Scriptures is true. All right, because it comes directly from the mouth of the Lord. I mean, you may perceive it to come through one of His prophets, but maybe, well, actually not maybe, because maybe the Lord. I said it again, but I mean, like the Lord put it on a prophet to write, whether that prophet wrote it himself, or maybe an assistant wrote it, or whatever the case may be. It still came from the Lord, to the mouth of one of His prophets, and they recorded it in history. And this is, that the compiling of all those scriptures, the Bible, all right, which is also our history. All right, it says to execute upon them. Let's read verse 8. Matter of fact, let's read 7 again. It says to execute vengeance upon the heathen. All right, which the heathen are the 17 nations. All right, there's 18 on the face of this earth, and the Lord chose one to Himself. That was the nation of Israel, and the other 17 nations are just heathens. It says to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, right? These are international banking families and all these ones that think they're in high power and they'll never be taken down, all right? To execute vengeance upon them, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints, the Israelites. Praise ye the Lord. You see? So, we got nothing to worry about. We just keep on this course, keep moving forward, and the Lord's got everything else. Stay in the spirit, be circumspect. And ultimately, salvation and everlasting peace, joy, and happiness is coming, issue forward from the Lord. So, Lord willing, you will exhort it and edify. Till next time, Yashrala, I'll say Shalom.